I don't know how many more, Janet.
I think we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I think probably we should probably we've got a few more people that said they're going to come, but I think we should just start now, to be
Happy to
honest,
get
Zoe, because we
started.
are
Yeah, fine.
recording it so we can
Yeah,
send it out to
and
those who may.
it's there's a lot to fit in. So I know I recognise a lot of the faces. There are some that I haven't met. You know, those that haven't kind of seen me speak or talk to me personally about the app. How much, you know, is there anyone that here that has no knowledge of kind of what the app is? Everyone's sort of roughly confident of what it is. Because I didn't know if I was going to have a team of people who haven't really approached it, and at which point I would give you a very like kind of overview talking about its key features and things like that. But I can always share that with you separately, and I can jump straight into the training instead. Okay, well, let's do that, because it's quite full on, and I'm going to be showing you cohort, what to do about employers, what to do with learners, and also I've just lost my train of thought. What was I going to say? Let me guess. Oh, that was it. Questions. What I'm going to do is, if you could save your questions to the end, because whenever I've delivered this straight to colleges, there's normally been so many questions and it's taken twice as long, and it's great to kind of get all that input, but we're on a tight line, so a tight time frame. So if you could note them down, and you can we'll either go through them at the end, and if we run out of time, you can email me, and we can address it all then. I am more than happy to come to any colleges that I haven't been to already, or even return to. You know, we really want to help you get this through. So just ask if you have any questions or have anything, but if we could save them into the end, just because there's quite a bit to get through. So I'm going to just share my screen and we'll get started. Now, I will be sharing this document as well, and it will probably be one that gets updated. You know, there'll be kind of different versions, but I'll sort of give you the rundown now. So, introduction, obviously, like I said, most of you sort of know what it is. It's a job matching app launched in 2025. So again, this is a document which you should be able to refer back to. So, you know, it could still be in use in the next few years. And it's all about helping the colleges connect with local businesses. And the three elements of it are obviously the job matching app, the web-based jobs board for employers, and a web-based cohort management system for the colleges. So the cohort management system is optional. It does not affect the way the job matching app works. You know, you can still promote it as an app for your learners to go and find opportunities, and you can encourage your employers to get involved with it as well. The cohort management is something additional, and it can give you some extra information. I'll show you how it works, and you can then decide how you want to implement it. So this guide is to help colleges teams to learn how to set up and use the Landed platform. So in terms of implementation, each college should work out the best strategy for implementing Landed, which suits the college, taking into consideration existing systems and processes, and avoid duplicating work. A college can use Landed as simply an app to direct learners to find opportunities. However, for best results, employer engagement is required. Establish who are the core teams to use the cohort system and in what capacity. Trialing the platform on a small team will help work out what element works for the college. It's crucial to follow up on any introductions to ensure users, that's learners, employers, staff, have been able to engage with it and not had troubleshooting or forgotten. You know, it's very easy to sort of direct people to download an app and then they download it and don't look at it again. I've certainly done that. So just make sure we always have a follow-up strategy with any of the introductions that you're doing. Oh, one sec. So cohort. Now, registration, what you need to do is create one person. You need to have a nominated main user, and they will need to create the college's login and their profile page. So kind of, you know, you can put in extra information. I will show you how to do that in a second. And then the main user will be responsible for creating and managing the company profile and the team members. So once a company profile has been set up, the main users can then add new team members. So it's web.landedjobs.co.uk. You can sign in using your college email address. and you'll be prompted with cohort or connect. Cohort is the bit for the colleges. Now, what I'm going to give you a live demonstration, but you will have a link to a video of what I'm going to show you, so you can refer back to that. And you can, and what you need to do is just make sure you notify me or any of the FE Sussex teams, just to ensure your account has the full features, just because obviously we've got an agreement with the developer. And so once you sort of create it, we'll just make sure everything's sort of ticked in the right bits. And then all users, what you need to do is if you add any team members, they need to be given cohort admin rights. So what I'm going to do is just come out of this a second, and I'm going to go on to cohort and just give you a quick demo of what it is. And then you guys can take that away, think about how you want to implement it. And then we're going to go on to kind of what we're going to do with learners and employers as well. So let me share the other one second. Windows. So I'll just sort of show you, this is our landing page for which you can direct people to, and just has a little bit of information on there. We've got a page specifically for the learners. It will tell you how to where you can click on either one to download it, depending on what your app store is, some of the key features and some of the screen grabs from the app store. You've got employers, again, a little bit more information, and then they can click through to register here and some key features. And this is going to be developed even further, but this is just sort of the basics. And we've also got participating colleges. So that has links to your college site and the logos and whatnot. So just if any of these images and logos aren't great, it's only because I've sort of pulled them off from other websites. So make sure we've got the up-to-date logos, and we can try and make sure that looks even better. So Landed, this is the actual like platform. So the other address is www. And this one is web.landedjobs. And like I said, you can access that via the other website. So what you would need to do is join now if you haven't set up, but obviously I'm going to show you from the point of view that you've set up your account. So like I said, you'll be prompted with connect and cohort. Connect is for employers, so anyone who is recruiting. So your college might want to use this to recruit. I would suggest setting up a separate account for them. So maybe it's, you know, Bexhill College recruitment or something, or HR, and they then have a separate login, and they would then go to connect. So this is cohort. Like I said, it's just going to be a real quick kind of show of what this does. So you'll be prompted in the dashboard. You have your sort of main intro page. You can edit, you can put more information, you can put links to social, LinkedIn and your website. Don't worry too much about your numbers down here, because it is technically unlimited for all of us. If you want to add users, you go to here and you can add users, put their email address in, and what you just need to do is make sure you go to cohort user and select cohort admin, and that just gives them all the rights to be able to do everything, because there isn't really, I don't think there's going to be this, if you have someone using this, you would want them to be able to have all those features. Okay, so what it does is you can create these different cohorts. So this is a test cohort. Now you can see these are all made up people apart from myself, and you can go in and see them on an individual basis. So you go to this little profile bit here. This is my profile. So this is what I have done on the app version of me. So I've downloaded the app, I've made a profile, and this is everything that I've put on there. And so this is, you get to see what your learner has put in and completed, and you can also edit it. So you could click here and you can tell them, you could sit with them and do this if you wanted to work with them on that, or you could just say, oh, I noticed a typo, and do that if you wanted to access this. And you can sort of see all the different information they've put in. You can see their i3 profile results. So if you've set them the task of completing their personality profile, you can go on and work with them with what results you've got. Goals is what the learner or the app user would put in, and you would see that. So you could set them a task of add your goals on into the cohort system, and you'd be able to use that information. Action plan, again, that's something, it's really quite straightforward. So you could add an action here, notes, and choose a date. It could be that you want to set a deadline. It's very simple, and it's not overly complicated. So in some ways you can interpret that really easily. I know obviously lots of you have different systems, so this might not be, it might not be every feature. It might be that you just want to use their CV. So this is just sort of showing you what it does. Again, assessment, it's very sort of, can't get the, there we go. Quite straightforward: barriers, interventions, notes. Got sessions, so if you wanted to book a meeting with them, this would send a notification to the learner and you can select a date and time. When using this, just make sure you use the calendar, because when you type it, sometimes it can get a little bit glitchy. We are working to get that changed, but just a slight tip there. And then reports as well. This is sort of will give you an idea of their engagement. So you can filter this by weekly, monthly, and this will tell you how much they've used the app, how many job applications they've done. Just as just on this personal view. You can, typical that something would stop working when I'm doing a demonstration. This normally gives me a map and it will tell you where I am. Also, it just gives you some basic demographics below and outcome. So again, just make sure you select kind of weekly, monthly, and then that's your outcome. So it could be, okay, they've had 2 interviews and they've accepted 1. If you really wanted to sort of track that individual. You can also edit their info. You can send them a message. This is sort of like an in-house chat, but it's not. It's only between who's manning that cohort and that individual. And you can also export the CV. I will just quickly, hopefully it should show you what this looks like. So this is so from that profile, what they've completed on the app, this is what the CV would look like. And it's not mind-blowing, but it contains it all. It's a straightforward CV, and it's really easy for them to pull off the app. They can either download it to their phone or they can email it to have it sent to their email. And you can also download and email it for them too. So you can edit the cohorts. Now, one of the sticking points with the cohort is well, it was sort of 2, but one of them is that an individual can only be in one cohort at a time. So if you wanted to have a whole year overview and be able to see all of your learners for 1 year, then you wouldn't then be able to have them in maybe your tutor groups cohort as well. So you would need to decide how you wanted to sort of manage that. It might be easier just to do a CSV upload of all of them, and then you can pull them from a current cohort group and add them to like maybe individual tutor ones. So again, just sort of think about that. We can't categorize or group them any other way, so they are just in there. I will just add that any this sort of I trained with I did some training with Basvik, and we're sort of working this all out. For you guys as colleges, you're most likely the easiest email address for you to have is the college one. And there's a lot of concern about people using the college one because they expire, but it's really, really easy to change an email address on the app. And also, if someone is in a cohort, whether they change their email address or not, they will stay in that cohort because it's actually linked to a number. So if you wanted to kind of manage data after they've left, then you can still do that unless they've deleted it, but that will still have them linked. This is the messages, so you can sort of just see an example of me talking to myself. You can do notifications, so this is quite good if you wanted to do like a whole overview or whatever, or just send a certain class. You select, you can then go select all and then just type in whatever notice and it comes up straight on the phone, so that can be really useful. And then you've got business intelligence. Now this does show you quite a bit of information, but equally it's not huge. And it's up to you how you want to interpret this as well. So again, you've got the similar thing: daily, weekly, monthly. You can select which cohorts you want to view. This will give you an overview of kind of how much use and activity has been happening on the app for that cohort. It will give you an overview of your skills, kind of what skills sets have been most entered. Same thing for qualifications. And location as well. For some reason that's not working, which is really annoying, and it gives you a little map with little pin drops on it. A really frustrating thing is that it doesn't tell you who. So I would love to get that changed, and that is in the developers kind of timeline. But if you wanted to get an overview of where someone is, and that can be quite useful, some of this information, if you're trying to maybe think about employers. You know, if you had an employer come in and thought you didn't know who lived near, you could select your cohort and kind of see if anyone is in that range. But yeah, it'd be nice if this was a little bit more detailed, but it's still information you can pull through, and you can also go on and maybe check it in 6 months after people have left, you know, collecting that destination data. So that is cohort. You can add resources up here. So that is adding files, and you can send them via messages as well. You get notifications. So it could be you've got just activity from your cohort. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Ignore anything about billing or accounts, just because, again, because of our setup and arrangement with it, that it doesn't apply to you. So I'm going to stop sharing this and jump back onto the presentation. 1 second. Like I said, I'm sure you have questions, so hopefully we can come back to them when we get there. 1 second. Going to go slideshow. Right. So cohort onboarding, you can upload a CSV file of all learners to cohort. This sends an email to the learner and a link to download the app, which sort of just gives them an extra prompt. I would also recommend sending a supporting email explaining what Landed is about. So, and then FE Sussex can support on this. So email, also make sure the email adds a reminder about using college email address, because what could happen is you invite them to, you add them to a cohort, they've already signed up and created an account with their personal email, and it can just get a bit messy. So just try to encourage that college email. And then use marketing to remind and boost awareness of the app. Assemblies, tutor sessions will also be required, and just make sure you also remind about emails going to junk as well. So when careers teams or tutor groups want to create new cohorts, they can pull from the main list of learners, or a college can use cohort as an overview for the whole year. So doing that one upload of a CSV file might be a really quick and easy way to engage with them, but I'll leave that up to you as to how, if that's the approach you want to do. There are multiple ways to use cohort can be used. This should be considered carefully before rolling out to the entire college for use. So use cohort for an overview of an entire year group. Colleges can collect macro details and destination data after learners have left, can send widespread notifications via the app, which could be useful. Create cohort groups, specific careers, teams to manage learners using coaching facilities, and can provide a more bespoke service. Or you can create cohorts by tutor groups for tutors to manage and have a macro view of the group. So just some tips: update all profile sections for most engagement from users. A learner can only be part of one cohort at a time, so avoid situations where a tutor and a career advisor want to both add the same individual. Learners will receive an email when invited to a cohort. This can go to junk. Start with a small cohort to practice learning the system. You can download a CV for learners onto a PC. Again, that's quite a useful action. Notifications and messages appear as app notifications. Can be better communication route instead of emails and calls. I think that's a lot of feedback I've had from young people. They don't actually answer emails, answer calls or read emails. Each user on cohort has an ID associated, and this will not be impacted if they change email addresses. So the app, so that's cohort. Like I said, note down any questions you have and we'll come back to that. So just have a think about how you want to use that. So the actual Landed app, we need to think about learner engagement. So onboarding, we're thinking for the main launch and beyond. So we've really got to, Careers Week is when we want to kind of be the big bang of getting people on, just so it's an event that you can tie into, because each college should hopefully be doing something. Now, our deadline for getting the KPIs is the end of March. So we really have to try and capture as much as possible in Careers Week. And that's each college has 220 to do. Okay, so we've really got to think about how we're going to do that. You know, what event is going to reach the best sort of audience to get these to download. I know if you might be thinking, oh, I don't know about cohort. Right now, we just got to get these KPIs, get that through, and then we can really sort of start working how we want to do it, because we can come back to it. You can get the learners to download it and engage with it initially, and then re-engage with them later. So make sure you use your comms teams to promote the app via social media, email, newsletter, campus screens and notice boards. We're going to be providing you with a marketing pack with lots of kind of posters and videos that you can use. Hold specific assemblies or tutor group sessions, inviting your learners to download the app and explore it. Actively encourage registration, so not just downloading it, we need them to register. So by doing that, you can update their profiles and take that personality test. Learners can go on to explore local opportunities then when they're ready. So learner assistance, the app can be downloaded via the Android store, Apple store by searching for Landed Jobs, or there'll be some QR codes that you can use and they'll be on the posters. Ensure learners receive and click the link in the registration email. Note that might go to junk. Profiles can be updated via the top right corner. You can see the little person, so they won't be prompted with completing their profile straight away. It will take them to a different landing page. So just make sure if they don't know where to go for profile, it's there. Get learners to add any type of experience that has helped them gain skills within the add experience section. So a real focus on transferable skills there. So just really think about, this is what sort of works with the algorithm. So anyone that might not know this, when you add what skills, experience and qualifications you have, when you look for a job, it will give you an indicator how much you match what the employer wants. So really think about those transferable skills, what they're going to have. This is what the profile page looks like. You can edit the personal information. Arrow says to download the CV. Profile completion bar, this will sort of change as they do it to try and, that kind of encouragement to do it. An overview of what their activity is, what they've done on the app. Personal statement will go on the CV, so just make sure they think about that. The item post for personality test is in the middle, and then you can go to settings as well. So on the settings page, you've got privacy options. So if anyone's concerned about sharing certain details, they can hide photo, last name, email address, phone number, and driving license information. And that can help maybe avoid bias and provide privacy protection. And then there's other options to apply to notifications. The personality test, this will ask users about approximately 50 questions, allowing them to choose from most likely, somewhat likely, and not likely, and provide an instant result. So advise users to take their time when completing this and really consider their answers, because it's really easy, because it's quite a straightforward question to just kind of go, like, yeah, click, and get it. And then they sort of have wasted the opportunity. So and also progress cannot be saved and must be completed in one go. So just think about that too. And if you want more information on the type of profiling, personality profiling, it's i3profiling.com. In experience, when they're adding this into their profile, experience can be anything that has gained them skills. Now, because the algorithm pulls from the experience bit, really think about, encourage them to add anything that has gained them skills. So maybe it's a certain college project or extra curriculum things. So when typing in skills, the app will give prompts to specific skills as described in the system. And this allows the algorithms to work with matching with employers. So it might be worth typing in a keyword first of all, and it will give you a suggestion as to how it's described as well. So just allow it to sort of pop up and you can select it. And again, just think about those transferable skills that employers are likely to do. You could advise them to look at existing openings that are online and see what kind of people, what skills they are after. Qualifications, so each college will be on the list, but if an educational provider is not on the list, contact FE Sussex. When they type it in, it should come up again as an option for them to select. Users must start typing in their qualifications and it will bring up a list for them to choose from. Now, this is quite an in-depth list of qualifications, so just be really they need to be quite specific to make sure they get the right one. And obviously, because there's new qualifications all the time, you can add new qualifications. Once you've chosen your qualification, you can then choose what grade they got, and users can request qualifications to be added to the pre-selected list. Now, I know this is probably going in quite a lot of detail, just so you know, but this is again for you to refer back to. So when you are onboarding your learners, you can come back to this document and you can sort of think, oh, I'm not sure about qualifications. And I've tried to include as many sort of tips about these pages as possible. When you're job searching, users can filter jobs by experience or qualification fit. You can see this sort of little bars on this screen grab here. Now, to avoid missing opportunities, advise setting to 0. The users will still be able to see their matching results. I know it's nice to be able to kind of, in a perfect world, if everyone puts everything in it exactly, then that'll be great. But I would still go to 0, because that just means you're not sort of, if someone's mistyped something, it means then they still see that experience, that opportunity. And also I would avoid doing the salary range again, just in case it's been inputted in any way wrong. And then ignore the questions on the veterans. That is a hangover from the existing app. And we will be getting that removed as soon as possible. But I mean, most people would just probably ignore it and click past it. You've got another page which is see more jobs. Now, users can view other jobs boards via the app. They will not be able to apply with their profiles and must download their CVs to do this. So the search functions are limited on this view, and Love Local Jobs will not be on there. It's only going to be on there for a limited time. So this just gives them access to other jobs boards. It's not really what the app's about, but they can go on and explore other bits. Find apprenticeships. So when they go on there, they'll be prompted with the list. If they want to filter their search, they can do so in the top right-hand corner. And if they want to search by a certain level, they can just type it in. So searching like level 5 or something. Get experience is where people will put work experience or volunteering roles, and they can then filter the search the same way on the apprenticeships. My application, so users can view all the applications they have applied to in each area, so whether it's jobs, apprenticeships or experience. This is saved opportunities. Oh, sorry, no, the saved opportunities are found elsewhere. So you can, when you're searching, you can save it to look at later. Or this is essentially just where any of the applications they've made. And this is only for saved applications, job applications in the main job search. So not found on the other jobs board. So if they went and clicked through to CV Library and applied through jobs through on there, it wouldn't be on this section because technically they've gone to an external page. I feel like I probably made that quite complicated, but hopefully you got what I said there. Support Me is all links to different support websites and contact information can be found here. It's really in depth. If you want to add anything or if you want anything removed, then let us know. I think it's quite straightforward to do. Companies. So all companies registered on Landed will appear in this list, whether they have any live listings or not. Users can select and view the company profiles and live jobs, and a user can follow a company and then receive notifications when a new opportunity is listed by that company. So really, really encourage employers to register, because I think it looks great that you can see, even if we are lacking in jobs initially, you know, to be able to see a great list of good names of employers, I think that would be really helpful. And it means they're still in front of those employers and they can find out more about them. When they're on their employer page, they can put links to socials, they can upload videos, they can do all sorts. So it can be really helpful. My cohort, so this is the view for what the app user sees. It's quite straightforward. Users can only access this page if they've been invited to join a cohort. Careers advisors, tutors can set actions for learners to complete different sections. And learners can find the information completed by their careers advisors and tutors here. So what I showed you on cohort, anything you inputted is what the learner would see on this page. Saved, so users can view all the opportunities they have saved in each area, so jobs, apprenticeship experience. This is only saved opportunities found in the main job search, not found on any of the other job boards. When you're viewing a job or an opportunity, a user can apply with one click and it sends their profile. A user will be prompted to send a message with their application, but this is not necessarily required. And they can also upload a video as well if that's what they like to do. But the posting will allow users to view their company profile and add to their favorites or save lists. So again, once you click on it, you can just see a bit more about the company, and it might be something you want to come back to. So quite easy prompts there on the app. Notifications. So when you're on your home screen, there's a little bell at the very bottom, and you will receive notifications for maybe messages from their cohort team leader if they have been rejected or shortlisted or selected to be invited to interview. If a company they are following adds a new opportunity as well. So sorry, and I'm just trying to rush through as much as possible because there's so much to fill in. Hopefully that's given you kind of an overview of what the app sort of does and what it looks like and what the learner will kind of explore. So why I wanted to break this down is so you guys can really support your learners when you're onboarding them and know what to do and how to use it. So I'm just going to jump on to employers and what we're kind of going to advise you to do, because as if you've heard me or not heard me before, you know, the employer engagement is down to each college, and the more the learners are I think will be quite easy to engage. We've had really positive experience from them, but the employers are so critical, so really got to think about those relationships you've got and try and get them on board. You know, we're spreading the word as well, but really think about these employers. So in terms of employer engagement, so each college is responsible for engaging with employers and increasing the users on the job platform. FE Sussex will be assisting on this within the first year of operation to ensure the app develops a solid base of users. It is advised to onboard all teams which work closely with employers and who regularly try to engage new employers, so business development teams, careers or WEX teams. These teams can then be provided with promotional material which they can adapt as necessary to help promote the app. It is recommended to create an all-staff awareness of the app to ensure awareness and a reliable word-of-mouth strategy amongst the whole team. You will be provided with a marketing deck issued by StoryThings. This is actually going to kind of come through the FE Sussex team, possibly in drips and drabs. We're sort of looking at how we want to provide this, but this will also include information on the app. Will be advice on creating dedicated web pages on each college site. There's a timeline for marketing, digital channels, you know, how you're going to use newsletters, social media, what the value propositions are of the app. So just giving you sort of information that you can start, you know, including in your repertoire when you're dealing with employers and things, and strap lines, language and copy to use, and assets such as QR codes, press pack, posters, screenshots. So lots of sort of tools for you to use, and we don't want to just overload you with loads of information. That's why I was saying we might sort of drip feed different bits, but we want to make sure you've got the tools to kind of get going as and when you need to. Plan and target. So each college should create a strategy and long-term plan for the promotion of the app. This could be delegated to the comms team to run a program with posts, videos, updates, and user experience across social media, emails, and newsletters. The marketing deck will provide material to support this, and the FE Sussex team will continue to provide assistance. Focus on key dates, you know, start of term, Christmas season, end of term, summer break. Consider all types of opportunities as well. So when you're approaching employers, so, you know, seasonal, part-time work or work experience, you know, each employer obviously has different opportunities. So, you know, if you know someone who always needs seasonal Christmas work, then really try and engage them and get on the app and promote that to the learners as well. So this is a very generic sort of target. So recommended targets for onboarding employers for essentially a platform, a jobs board. A starting point would be 100 to 200 jobs. So for Careers Week, Love Local Jobs are going to be manually putting in 250 jobs for us. So that's a really good start point. But obviously, we really need employers that we've directly engaged with as well. So when people download it in Careers Week, they will see opportunities, but we really do need employers to start using and registering it. So best practice is 500 jobs per 3,000 users. So that's across all colleges. So that's sort of when you're really up and running, that's the kind of target that you want to be doing. USP. So Landed has several unique selling points which should be highlighted to employers. So the only recruitment platform which puts opportunities right in front of over 50,000 learners is exclusively Sussex. Purpose is to support local businesses, recruit skilled individuals in post-16 education. It's free, and it's a really easy to use web-based platform too. Target employers. So there are many opportunities as a college to connect with employers. Some suggested groups could be existing contact database, alumni, participants at careers fairs or other events, those offering work experience or placements, county council sector task groups, parents, carers of learners, Chamber of Commerce. If you have anyone in your college that is a member of Chamber of Commerce, get them to go and promote it. It's such a great way to connect. You know, we've been working with the Chamber of Commerce as well, but it is hard if that you're not part of their member for them to let you in, which I have found anyway. So, you know, make sure you sort of take advantage. FE Sussex can support you on that as well. So yeah, really think about where you can get these employers. You don't have to go cold calling. You've got a huge amount of people that you can contact that would be suitable to use the app. How to onboard employers. So they would sign up on web.landedjobs, or they can follow the link through from Landed Jobs. The users can either use the web platform for individual job posts, or they can provide a CSV file. Unfortunately, the XML feed isn't an option right now. I need to, sorry, this only got confirmed the other day. It could be something that we can do in the future, like an easier upload process. Also, Broadbean, if anyone knows what Broadbean is, it's a sort of a platform which means that if you had an opportunity, you can post on various different websites. So if you are a member of that, you can connect via the Broadbean, but that obviously just depends on if your employer is part of that. So more information on the technical practice will be provided separately. So any sort of any information like the template, the CSV file will be provided later. So certain tips. So invite employers to register on the site, whether currently recruiting or not. This means they appear on the company's page and learners can still find their details. Offer support to employers using the platform. FE Sussex will be able to assist within the first year of this. Collaborate with other colleges and share successes. Collectively, each college will benefit. This is an exciting brand new platform. Encourage employers to give feedback as it's still in its infancy. Just some additional college actions here. So other jobs. So select a team member to the main point of contact and manager of Landed. They will need to coordinate teams and collaborate with FE Sussex and the developer. Create a dedicated web page on the college website. Collect feedback and testimonials. Partake in a Landed action group for all colleges to share experience and information, and get your HR teams to use the platform. And yeah, say HR too, or your apprenticeship teams as well. Get your apprenticeships on there. You know, it's such a great way to kind of get in front of people that are looking at a next step after their studies. This is very basic. This is to be still completed frequently asked questions. So that's why there's one question that's been repeated there. So like I said, this is still being updated. Feedback. So I'm going to come back to that actually. I'm just going to quickly show you, I think I've got time. I'm just going to quickly show you Connect for the employer bit, just so you sort of are aware of what it looks like. So if you just give me 1 second, and then I'm going to get you to try and scan that just so I can capture that you've actually done had this training. So Connect, you can anyone that's registered on this platform can technically use Cohort and Connect, but it's unlikely that a employer is suddenly going to start using Cohort, and what they can do would be quite limited because they're obviously not part of our group. So they would just need to go to the Connect page. They have a company profile here. Like I said, you've got this Broadbean integration. You can put media, photos, videos, company videos, all sorts. They don't need to really worry about the different packages there. You can look at your live jobs or live experiences. Fortunately, I had to delete them because we're now engaging more people on there. I didn't want to have test jobs to show test jobs on there when people are looking. But if they wanted to add an opportunity, they can click what type, job, apprenticeship, experience, and then you just simply go through a series of pages, and it gives you a little preview of what it looks like at the end. So it's really quite straightforward. It's very easy to use, and then you've got all the different saved ones. Once someone has applied, you can message them directly, so you can send them information. Really annoyingly, actually, I can't show you the application management system. I don't know if sorry. Oh, this sort of does. This sort of breaks it down because this is the last one that I deleted. So what will happen is you would actually get a whole load of stats. If you had a job, you would be able to see a load of stats about who sort of looked at your job. If you had 10 people apply, they would all be in this column here in your applicants list. And then what you would do is, if you think, okay, I want to shortlist them, you put a little star there, or you go, no, they're not good, you go drag them to rejected. Or if you think, oh no, I'm going to invite them to an interview, you put them there. Or if you've offered them a job, you move it over there. And it's a really great, it doesn't look as good when you're dealing with one person, but it's a really kind of interactive way to deal with applicants. And also it's so straightforward. But if you think, okay, no, they're not suitable, you move them to a rejected file. And that just is such a useful thing for someone to know if they've applied to a job, that they've actually been rejected, because I know it doesn't give feedback, but it's so many people just don't even know if they've had their CV read, or like being shortlisted. Just again, that sort of just gives them that little bit of extra. And then invited to interview. So if you are providing support to employers at all, again, we will assist you with this. But this doesn't actually, if I then move to invite to interview, this doesn't send an invitation to an interview. They would then need to follow that up with an email or the message function. So this is just sort of the application management system. Okay. And then that's pretty much it. They've got typical same kind of settings, notifications, but it's very similar sort of cohort in the setup, but the company profile, you can add more kind of details on there. So I'll stop sharing that one. I'm gonna just quickly bring up the other page. Email. So yes, we have got an email signature. Sorry, James, we've just seen. I'll go on to the questions again. Hold on. Right. So before I deal with questions, I'm just going to quickly ask you to scan that and just complete it if you haven't already done a feedback thing, and then we'll go on to questions. So if you're able to scan that, it will just give a quick form just to say, yeah, I've received some training on this. When it asks for your date of birth, just click on the year where it says 2025. It will bring up a list of years to scroll through. I know a lot of people tend to struggle with, think they've got to swipe through month by month by month by month, but just make sure you click on the year and that'll bring up the list. So once sorted, I'll just give you a minute or two to do that. And then we can do questions. We can either get people to type in to the chat or put your hand up, put the little hand raiser bit on Teams, and we can start fielding some questions. And yeah, so hopefully it was a very flash in the pan way of teaching you this, but hopefully it's given you a bit of an overview of kind of what it all does, how you can help your learners with it, but really think about those employers. We've really got to get them engaged, and yeah, just this launch as well, making sure you are getting that reach. I strongly believe you will not have trouble engaging learners to download this and play with it, but you've just got to create the opportunities to make that happen. So I'll stop sharing that, and we can then do any questions if anyone has any.
There are. Thank you so much for that, Zoe. That was incredible.
Oh, okay.
Sharing so much information, but so clearly. Thank you so much. Yes, we have got some questions.
Okay.
We've got a question from look, we've got James. Could FE James at Plumpton, could FE Sussex develop an email signature graphic that we can all use to promote Landed? Yes, absolutely. We have a whole marketing pack that's been developed for us with lots of with lots of sort of assets and things that we can use. So we will do that, but please bear with us, because that will probably take place after the end of this current phase of the project. So in this phase, which is funded by government, so funded by the Department for Education's LSIF project funding, it's been about the development and of the app, and then sort of starting to pilot it and test it and then get it out there. In the next phase, we have a couple of days of a week resource at FE Sussex to help colleges take it forward and work with you all as a group. And in that phase, yes, we will absolutely develop an email signature. Thank you. There are a couple of people, Zoe, that are saying they couldn't see the QR code.
I've just sent a link now, so you can click on that instead.
Fab.
You can get the
Super.
QR code.
Shall I read out some more questions? So Matt Bennett, over a period of time, will the data summarise by percentage and figures with regards to industries, job type, salary? Yeah, as I understand it, I mean, Zoe, correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah, the cohort system will be able to give destination data. I think that's what you're asking, Matt, is it?
Well, this is a picture of our local labour market information. I mean, the only thing is that the jobs board isn't really visible to cohort, if that makes sense. It's only sort of available if you were using the app. to see it. We could discuss sort of where you might be able to pull that information like on the background with the developer, but that might be something in the future. Yeah, or if it is more destination data, it is that sort of you can get a light overview. It's not terribly in depth, but you can get see kind of what people have gone to.
Just to add to that, because this is just one of the projects that we've developed with the ELSIF. Another project we developed is to create 2 new careers websites in Brighton and Hove and also West Sussex. So currently in East Sussex there is a careers website. It's called Careers East Sussex, and we wanted to replicate those. So we commissioned West Sussex County Council and Brighton and Hove County Council to replicate that. And basically what those websites are going to do is show the sectors that are available and the types of jobs and also the pathways to those jobs. Those 3 local authorities have been in talks around including lightcast data that will give local labour market up-to-date live information on the websites. So watch this space. It's coming, but it might be in a slightly different place to this.
Great. Any other questions? I think Kate's added one there. Do we have an agreement placed to cover data sharing? We've got well, in what it's in the terms and conditions of the app, there is kind of the typical basic data sharing. We're not really can you explain that question a bit more? Is it between the cohort and because otherwise it's just sort of the app use, it's just sort of the same as like applying to a job elsewhere. That's the same sort of agreements there.
I think it was through a cohort, because if we're uploading our student information to it, I suppose do we need to make sure we've got something in place to
it's only you that would have that access.
Oh, right.
It would only be members of your staff that have access to that. So
fine.
Cohort and your login in Cohort doesn't speak to employers. Employers can't access that information.
Okay.
Oh, anything else? I didn't need to rush as much. I thought I'd have more questions.
Could have talked a little bit slower, Zoe.
I know. I was just like, honestly, last 2 times I've done it, it's taken me 2 hours. So I was quite conscious to try and get through doing it.
Should we just, go on, Kate. Sorry.
Sorry, this sounds a bit daft, but when you work in a large organisation with lots of people involved, I can see it happening, because it said about having one person register. Obviously we can have a really good plan for that, but once one person's registered, does that stop anybody else trying to do it, or could we end up with a bit of a pickle? Okay.
You wouldn't necessarily end up in it. You might just have a few. There might end up being a few Sussex cottages, and then you just have to establish to delete it. But I think that I think it's unlikely. I mean, maybe I just think with Cohort, it might be that lots of your staff go and download the app, but to actually access Cohort and create the account, once you've selected who's the dominant person to use, the main user, it's just a matter of communicating that we'll be rolling that out. If you don't want anyone to use it right away, just say, please do not register on Cohort, and I guess just accessing it through there. I mean, it's not super critical, because even if they create something on Cohort, they don't it won't really do anything, because it won't really impact on what the learner sees. Yeah. Anything else?
I think the other thing to say, do you want to just talk a bit about comms teams and things like that, Zoe?
Yeah. I mean, I think I wouldn't mind talking about just the launch. So for careers, sorry, my background's gone incredibly dark. It's getting darker now. In Careers Week is when we really want to push that. So really use your comms team to think about that plan in place. About we've got snazzy posters that have got memes on that should hopefully attract young people that you can use. There's we've got documents that, you know, are only a few pages long that you can share. There's like a 50-second long promo video that you can use. That's on the website, and you get links to it. So there's lots of ways to quickly sort of engage them. Really think about those key, the kind of key features. Like I said, when I've done it to colleges and to learners, it's been well received. So I don't think you have much splashback. I just really think about also how you say it. You know, it's brand new, we're testing it, and also for employers, that's a long game. So, you know, set people's expectations. Just say, look, we're getting you to download it and register it now, but it might be that, and we are looking to get more employers on, they're coming, you know, you know, just letting them know that, okay, you haven't got all the users on there yet, or all the employers on there, but this is still going on. And don't forget, like, you don't want to give someone a rubbish experience, but equally you get a brand new cohort every year. So, you know, you can learn from your experience each year. You know, this has got funding for 5 years, so we can really make sure it works. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Is someone asking a question, or is that just background? I think it might be in background.
No one's got their hand up.
No. Yeah, so yeah, set expectations. Like I said, if you wanted to really roll it out a cohort, it could be that you get everyone to download it, just get them to register and have a play and say, look, we're going to be coming back to this with your tutors, all your careers teams, and we'll be you know, exploring sort of how you use the app, and we'll have more employers ready for when you finish term, or something like that. So just sort of really make sure they don't go on there. We want to avoid this thing that we sell it as being fantastic, and there's tons and tons of jobs and experiences on there, when actually right now there's not. And we need to do that work. Everyone collectively needs to do that work to get them on there. So it's, you know, making people aware this can be great, and we want all that extra engagement. So yeah, employers are so important to getting this to work. Okay. Oh, Janet, you got mute.
I think let's you know, that's a load of information, a brilliant, Zoe.
Yeah.
Again, thank you so much. I'll put the Landed website link into the chat. We also have the QR code in the chat. So I think if there's no more questions, I'm going to be speaking to the project leads about this on in our regular meeting on Friday, because as I said, we have got, well, Zoe said we've got some quite hefty KPIs to achieve in the next 6 weeks. But aside from that, do get in touch with myself or Zoe if you have any questions.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so, I'm more than happy to come to any colleges and come and help you. So just let us know.
Thank you, Zoe. And thank you all for attending. I'll send the recording out to you in the next couple of days.
Yeah. Lovely. Thank you. And yeah, and try and share amongst your teams as well. So thank you.